This week on the Modified World, we're going to be comparing and contrasting some various brands of clickers. So, you want to stay tuned. So, welcome to the Modified World. It's the web show about, it should be weekly web show, but it's the web show about body modification. People do it, people get it, and why it matters. I'm your host. I'm the senior piercer at the world-renowned PANGEA Piercing here in beautiful downtown Ann Arbor, Michigan. I purvey internet wackiness. This week, well, I wanted to be able to sit down and show you the difference up close and personal between various types, styles, and brands of clickers so that you can make informed decisions and not waste your hard-earned ducats.
I've braved the snow to come to the mall, a den of sin and inequity, a necessary step in the process for me to be able to compare and contrast materials so that you can make, accurate decisions and see for yourself what I'm talking about. Stop one down, Hot Topic. And I'll go ahead and use the name too, since Morbid Metals is their branded, their own house line of jewelry. I'll go ahead and call them out by name. Now, the little kiosk that we're about to go over to here in the center of the mall, they're an independent small chain, not Pagoda, not Claire's, not whatever. So I will go ahead and give them the benefit of not hoeing them out on the internet. Well, I am chagrined. Apparently, the kiosk at the mall does not sell clickers. So we can cut this little sojourn into this temple of empty consumerism. We can cut this a little short, get over to the shop, get on the important parts. First off, the house brand from Hot Topic, Morbid Metals. So let's take a look at this here. So what are we seeing? Seeing obvious spots over here, if you can see where there's rough spots. Now, one could argue that, well, that's not the wearing surface, but I'm also looking at this wearing surface and I'm not too impressed with the shininess on here. Looking at the gemstone set on here, well, these appear, not even appear, these are foil back pieces of glass that appear to be glued in. Let me see if I can actually get that up close where you can see down here little bits of adhesive holding that in. Now, of course, when that adhesive fails, and it will, then you've pretty much lost your gemstone. Looking at the clasp on here, just kind of has a hole dug out and a bit of a tip to this. Looking at the hinge, see quite a bit of roughness there. One of my bigger other concerns with the whole thing is this is clearly a plated piece. It's not actual solid material, and so therefore as soon as this and this wears off, then, well, now you're looking at problems, because you're going to be having God knows what sort of mystery metal up against your nose. That said, though, the clasp does seem to open and close fairly easily. So, once again, I can see where people could be fooled. Now, up next is our offerings from Body Gems. Body Gems is based out of Pennsylvania. Been around a long time and have a pretty good reputation for quality. Now, if you notice on this, the clasp part has a nice clean button on here that's going to hook nicely into that precisely drilled hole. Also look over here at the hinge, much smoother and with a nice polish on it and stuff, which is nice. Now, some people feel that, well, they prefer having the point of the clasp on the other side. And, well, I have to admit I'm in that camp, but it does seem to work pretty well and gets the job done nicely. Notice the welds, and even on the parts that aren't seen, the polish is still pretty nice, pretty clean. You're like, well, how does that stack up with the gemstones though on the other one? And, well, I don't have a Body Gems clicker with a gemstone in it, but I do have this ring here where you can actually see the quality of the gemstone setting. Now you notice that's a cubic zirconia. It's a synthetic gem, but no glues used or anything like that. They've just bent the metal around the gem as is proper. Now to contrast once again though, let's look at these polishes up close. Really start to see the difference when you actually have them side by side. Notice how the wearing surface on the Body Gems piece actually looks like a mirror in comparison, where this just looks like a piece of like gunmetal almost. It's had a degree of finishing put to it, but not near to what the extent that the Body Gems piece exhibits. Up next is the offering from Industrial Strength. So you'll notice on this one the hinge is a little different. This one, while it's a nice box hinge, it is screwed together. Now the upside on this is, say you needed to get a different size wearing or a different thickness of wearing surface. I know for a fact, because I've done this myself, you can swap these pieces just by unscrewing that and screwing a new one in there. Makes it kind of cool. The hinge on this does not have a separate button at the tip, but the machine slot for it is extremely clean and nice. Leaves a nice lip on here, so it clicks in very positively but doesn't over travel. You notice on here the polish is about what you'd expect from our friends at Industrial Strength. It's a premium quality product, so of course it's going to be finished to mirror sheen. And this is implant grade titanium too, so it can be colored all the various colors that you see in the spectrum of titanium anodization. So, you know, like with this guy, it'd look really good in like a ice blue titanium, or maybe a pink or blue purple iridescent, something like that. It'll look really sharp on that guy. So, and the good thing about these is, well, they're towards the lower end of the cost spectrum, but still with a very nice, like, solid hinge that doesn't wiggle very much, a little bit but not bad, and a nice positive click lets you know that it's safe in there. Plus it doesn't want to fall out or anything like that, which, as somebody who makes these things, I can tell you that it takes a little bit of work to get your hinge dialed in perfectly. So up next is actually one that I've made myself, actually, which is part of the fun of what I get to do. This one's diamonds, not CZ, so no, of course, no adhesives used, just classic pave set gemstones. My clasps I do with a machine slot with a hole over on one side and a little button on the other, so for positive engagement, but still easy to open and close. This one's 18 gauge as well, so you can see a little box clasp, and you can see my polish and all that good stuff. I don't try to brag too much, but it's pretty nice. And last but not least, oh man, the mighty Body Vision Los Angeles. So now you get to look and see actually. So rainbow moonstones, all natural, hand set, no adhesives of course, because real jewelry. Casting's real clean on that. Welding's really nice. The hinge, you don't see any transition. Like, admittedly on mine, you can see the little bit of transition. And this one's super clean. The clasp, very similar to mine with the classic button. Even a little bit longer and a little bit sharper and cleaner with a nice cleanly drilled hole on the other side for positive engagement. Because of course when you go buy something of this nature, you'd really hate to lose it. But, you know, flawless polish, absolutely nothing to complain about anywhere on it. And it's an heirloom quality piece that you'd be able to pass down to your grandkids if they were the type to have their septums pierced as well. Which, hey, you never know. Alright, so over here on this side we've got our morbid metals. Over here we've got industrial strength, body gems, my stuff, and BVLA. Holding them all together, you can really get a better feel for what we're actually looking at. You can kind of actually see which is real jewelry versus what is just ersatz crap. So hopefully this will give you a little bit of a better leg to stand on as far as making choices when it comes to clickers. Naturally, mystery metal made God knows where, I can't endorse, but I can wholeheartedly endorse our industrial strength body gems, body vision, and my stuff.
So I hope that kind of clears up some of the confusion about it. You know, basically, you kind of get what you pay for in just about everything in life. If you go cheap, then, well, you get cheap stuff. I always tell people this: if you accept second best is all you ever get. Demand the best because your body deserves it. And of course, since YouTube is so bad about demonetizing somewhat edgier content, of course I have to ask for your help too. And how you can help is by, if you actually wanted to purchase a clicker, you want to look at some of them, we've got all these listed, plus lots and lots more on my website, PANGEAPiercing.com. I'd really appreciate it if you chose to make an online body jewelry purchase. Consider making it for me. Of course, you should always go to your local professionals first. But of course, if they don't have what you're looking for, well then, hey, I'd appreciate it if you at least checked out my site. It's PangeaPiercing.com. And hey, that was my show this week. Hope you enjoyed it, learned something, remotely entertained. I do this all the time, so you gotta come back by and check us out the next time for yet another episode of The Modified World.